Welcome back to Travel Check-ins with Saida.
And Jermaine.
In today's video, we are going to be sharing 4 skills with you that can make you money anywhere in the world. So Jermaine and I, we left the U.S. in 2024 and we live abroad full time. Our hub is Nairobi, Kenya. That is where we live for most part of the year. And then when we're not here, when we don't have our visa here anymore, we also travel around Asia. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about 4 skills that we actually implemented to help us make money abroad because we do not have remote jobs.
Right.
And so the first thing we want to talk about is editing. So I worked in social media and social media marketing since around 2010. And editing is one of those skills that allowed me to make money from home, actually make a full-time income working in media. And so we took those skills and we actually began to utilize them abroad. And one of those skills I actually taught to Jermaine, which is editing. Right. And now you're our chief editor for our YouTube channel, right?
I mean, if you do YouTube, you have to edit unless you just walk around vlogger, which in Kenya, you would not be a walk around vlogger.
Yeah.
They don't really do it like that. So we had to learn how to edit videos, take out a lot of my ums that I do, a lot of things. So yeah, that's a skill you easily pick up if you just do YouTube.
Yeah, and so just thinking back, right, because YouTube is not something that you wanted to do. Yeah. I had been asking Jermaine to get into social media even when we were back in the U.S. and I was doing media, right? And then he started actually helping me with my blog. And so he was doing some of the behind the scenes stuff. But how hard was learning to edit, especially for you where you feel like that wasn't really your gifting?
Well, what I've learned is it was kind of hard until I started doing it my own way. You like to edit on phones. I like to edit on the computer, right? You have to find out what you like doing and how you like doing it better. So you take what somebody's kind of showed you and tailor it to your gifts and your style of doing it. At least for me, that's how I like doing it. So once I picked up a couple things, took a week or two maybe, then I was kind of off to the races.
And what are your favorite editing platforms for videos, like shorts for YouTube and also long form videos or things for TikTok and stuff like that?
You mean like what do we use?
Yeah, like what do you like using? Because, like I used to like one and you didn't really like it. So what do you like?
No, I actually do like CapCut. Right?
Oh, okay.
I do, but I like the paid version. I don't like the other version. Yeah, but I use Final Cut Pro now because overall, right, it's going to be cheaper because you pay for Final Cut Pro if you have an Apple one time. And then it lasts as long as your computer lasts. So I use Final Cut Pro now, and it's pretty good. It's probably more professional, which I'm not there yet. So, but I know what I'm doing to a certain extent.
And so for us, we monetize our editing by editing our YouTube channel, creating shorts for YouTube. Sometimes we post on TikTok, which our TikTok isn't monetized. But also another way that you can use your editing services is also to freelance your work. So if you know other YouTubers, you can reach out to them and let them know you do editing. And a lot of times YouTubers don't really want to edit their own videos, especially those vlogs where you have a bunch of B-roll and footage.
Oh, yeah.
And you can actually pay someone to do that, and that someone can be you. So those are the 2 ways you can monetize editing.
Yeah, I said that I wasn't a professional, right? But I know how to do more than most people,
right?
Which sort of makes you a professional anyway. It makes enough where you can monetize it if you want to.
Absolutely, because if you're going to work for someone else as a freelancer, what you want to do is you want to start putting together a portfolio and showing them these are some of the videos from my own YouTube channel, and these are the videos that I've done. This is how they performed. You can show them things like your intro rate. When you have a high intro rate on your YouTube videos, that means you know how to kind of craft those first 30 seconds of the video to keep people engaged. And those are some of the things that people are looking for in their channel. People who can do cuts and add music and those sorts of things. And so that's one way you can edit. And then the other way is through your own channel. So let's talk about travel hacking. And then we'll talk about relocation or consulting. So one of the ways we monetize our travel hacking, basically knowing how to use credit cards as alternate currency, is we teach that to other people. So talk a little bit about that, how we monetized it.
The main way you can really do this, the easier way to me, is to make digital products, ebooks, things of that nature. If you know a lot about credit cards and the transferable currencies, those are things most people don't know. They're probably not going to take the time it takes to actually be good at it. So that's one of the things that we have. We have a couple roadmaps of Kenya. That to me, that's part of travel hacking, because once you travel hack, you can go to different places. But I also look at travel hacking as an income, being because I look at the currencies as income.
Like the points and the
The
miles.
points, miles, they're currencies. So if it's going to help me save $800 on a flight, to me, I just made money. Right? So I actually put it in that basket.
Right. And so being able to take that information that maybe someone doesn't have the time to research all of this information and then present it to them in a ebook or a course or a one-on-one consultation, that is something that you can actually monetize, and it's something that we actually monetize. So for Jermaine, he knows a lot about the travel hacking. Me, I know how to create digital products. So we put that together. And the same thing is true with relocation consultation. And that's something that if you have a YouTube channel or a TikTok platform and you're talking about your experience actually leaving the US and moving to another country, a lot of times you'll find people start asking you questions in your comment section. And it's okay to answer one or two questions. But then when you start getting into some of the deeper things, then those are things you want to actually maybe think about monetizing. And relocation consultation, I know a lot of people try to poo-poo on it. But my thing at the end of the day is, you know, if you've done a thing, and by poo-poo on it, I mean, they want to say that people shouldn't charge.
Right.
But people are busy. People are abroad living their lives. They are living and doing things in a country. And so for someone to expect for someone to sit down and be an apartment guide, help them find an apartment, help them book flights, welcome them when they get to the country, take them around and show them around, all for free, that's insane.
People don't even show up to meet you sometime once they paid.
Yeah.
If they don't pay, people a lot of times don't value your information. They're like, it's free. It must not be anything.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to move accordingly.
Right. And so relocation consulting is something that you can actually offer if you've already done a particular move. So the other thing that we actually do is short-term trading, and that is like swing trading. It's basically when you can buy an option in the stock market, or you can buy equity in the stock market and you hold it for a certain amount of time, and then you sell that equity for a profit. Now, that's not something that I would say somebody jump into and start doing right away, but it is something that someone can educate themselves and learn within 30 days, right?
You can educate and learn in 30 days, but you won't be good in 30 days. So I want to make that clear. This is not financial advice, but you can lose money in the market pretty easily, but you can make money too.
Absolutely.
But if you're talking about learning something that you actually can do, this is one of the things. It's just going to take a while, but what do you do in 30 days that you're going to be great at? I can't think of anything. The key is to start.
Right. But after 30 days, you'll know more on day 30 than you did on day 1 if you really devote yourself to learning about the particular thing. Because one thing is even a trading book that we recommend to everyone who asks us, how do I get started with trading? We have a friend who read that book in like 2 days.
Yeah, and once you read like 1 or 2 books, you're gonna know more about the stock market than 80% of the people, I would think.
Earlier this year, we actually started doing a different type of short-term trading. We actually added AI trading to our strategy. So we still do our own trading throughout the week, but we also have AI trading for us. And we shared a full tutorial on that in our membership group. So Jermaine, what does AI trading look like for us? And talk about the difference between that 30-day learning curve with regular trading and AI trading.
Essentially, it's just using artificial intelligence to make the trades for you. It's probably going to be more astute and more well learned that you are on making the trades, but it's certain things people can do that computers really can't. That's really the major difference in it. Just having AI to do it. It's just like using ChatGPT to search things.
Yeah.
Instead of you going to searching and Googling or whatever you do.
Right.
So it's really the same thing in the stock option world.
Yeah.
So the difference is we don't really lose money at all doing the AI trading whatsoever. That other way
is human error.
It's human error. Like I've lost money doing something stupid, but I've actually gained money by the same way.
Yeah.
But it evens out. The computer doesn't make stupid errors.
Yeah.
So that's really the main difference, the human part of it. But the other way, you will probably make more money if you know what you're doing, more than AI trading.
Yeah.
Just AI trading is more guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, we did do a full video on that. Is in our Inner Circle membership group. If you want to learn more about AI trading, you can join our group and we'll show you exactly the platform we use. We are doing like monthly return on investment videos for our members. So if you want to see how our progress is going, we've been doing it about 2 months and like we've had no losses. So, we don't gatekeep. So if it's something you're interested in, definitely get in our Inner Circle group.
And if, again, we don't really issue financial advice. This is what we do.
Yep, absolutely. So do your own due diligence after you get the information.
Right.
So the fourth way fourth skill you can learn that would actually help you to make money abroad is going to be property management. Now, some people who decide to move abroad, they say, I'm selling all of my everything. I'm selling my cars, my house, my everything. And that is one way to do it. Some people do it and they've done it successfully. They sell their property, they take the proceeds, they put them into other investments, and they make money that way. That is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But for us, I wanted to be a property manager. I want to be in real estate. I want to have multiple properties. Jermaine was not really so much into it, but I'm so glad that he leaned towards, because when you're a husband and wife, like you don't always see things eye to eye. You don't always see things the same way. But now that we are managing the property, like what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's nice. Well, like before, I see the plus and minuses of doing both. My sensibilities lean probably more towards selling, but I do see the benefits in keeping it because your property value is going to go up and it's steady income.
Yeah, and it just depends on like how you want to build your wealth.
Right.
Because like if we have just sold and then took the proceeds, put them in the market, then you don't have the, I guess some people say, headache of a tenant. You won't have to do repairs.
Right.
You won't have to do these things. But so for us, right, we initially had a property manager for the first year. And then a little bit into the management of the property, like a year and a half, I decided, I was like, that's money I'm paying the property manager. And our house is pretty, like the property runs itself. We've had just only one time that we've had to go do some like minor repairs. And usually with the property management company, they kind of handle everything. But what I did is I actually met a lady. We were traveling abroad. We met her, I think, in her and her husband in maybe Vietnam. And they told us they manage their own property. And that's what encouraged me. So I went online and I started learning, how do you manage a property abroad? And so it took me literally 30 days. And within 60 days, I had fired our property manager and transferred everything over. And I've been managing the property from overseas all of this time. So it might feel scary if you're thinking about doing it, but if within 30 days, you'll know everything you need to know what platforms are available. And then within 60 days, you can get it transferred over to yourself and manage your own property.
As long as you can't be lazy about it.
Yeah. And it's been really good. So you have to source a reliable maintenance team. You have to source a platform that's going to, accept your tenants and accept their payments for their rentals. So you have to research a bookkeeping software. The platform I use is Avail, and everything is done right in the Avail system. You also have to create a property turnover strategy between renters. Good thing for us, we haven't had our renter. She just continues to renew, so that's worked for us. But we do have a turnover strategy in place. And then you also have to create a rental funnel that allows you to do lease renewals, send information to your renter. Once you have all of that stuff in place, and like I said, I use Avail, the system has been very easy. And like when I say 30 days, I really mean it. Like 30 to 60 days, you're good to go.
Yeah, this is pretty much your expertise because I realized if you wasn't around, that thing good as sold.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving it so far. Like if it gets to a point where like I'm just like not enjoying it, I mean, because it's like nothing work. Like I do nothing. I just did the lease renewal, and we're moving into year 3. And I'm happy, and I'm saving money because I got rid of the property manager, and yeah, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
So those are 4 of the things that you can actually begin learning within 30 days to start bringing in income. And that's doing editing as a freelancer or on your own YouTube channel. That's also doing, using your information that you know about traveling or relocation and packaging that into something that brings in revenue. The other one would be doing short-term trading, either options or buying and selling equities, or taking a look at our masterclass, which is in our inner circle group, and learning about this AI trading where you don't even need 30 days to learn anything. And then the other is learning how to become a property manager and maybe not selling your property when you move abroad and using that property as a revenue stream. So I think that's all we have for the people today, right?
That's all I got.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to see more videos about this, like creating revenue abroad and how we actually do it, let us know down in the comment section below.
All right, y'all.
Bye.